heritage tourism has become a big business in Port Alberni. We have the McLean Mill, we have the museum, and we have the Maritime Heritage Society, the lighthouse down on the waterfront. And I'm here with David Cox, Vice President of the Port Alberni Maritime Heritage Society. David, thank you so much for inviting us into the Hutchison Gallery.
You're most welcome, Nancy.
Now, we've been talking a little bit before the cameras went on, and we were talking about when the Maritime Heritage Society was created. When was it?
That was in 1984. Ken Hutchison, who was a spark plug in this area for many years, got a group together, and they decided they were going to have a maritime-focused heritage group. And their initial project was building a reproduction of the Santiago, which is a Spanish exploration vessel.
Okay, so this surprised me because I really did think I knew everything about the society, but it was actually created to duplicate, to reproduce the Santiago. This was a big ship.
Quite a large ship, yeah. It was one of the first ships of the European ships on the west coast. And Ken Hutchison with Harry Webster got a group together, and they bought all the exotic lumber and did the research and et cetera, et cetera. And they bought the lumber, but it never came to fruition. And so the lumber sat in a pile until it was sold off and it was entered to other things, yeah.
Now, this would have been a huge undertaking. Am I correct? Was that the ship of Pedro de Alberni?
Yeah.
So it was, in some ways, the mothership of this settlement of Port Alberni, of Alberni and Port Alberni. And all of these years later, 84, 94, 2004, 33 years later, you are still here celebrating the maritime heritage, but you have several buildings now.
We have two buildings here. This is the Hutchison Gallery. This was built and opened in 2005, and quite a few years before that, the lighthouse, which is iconic to the Port Alberni area, was opened first down on the quay.
And these are both, in essence, functioning museums.
Yeah, they're called galleries, but essentially they function as a maritime museum.
Now, we've spent so much time down here in the summer. You have students working every year, I believe.
We have students who are hired on a federal grant budget, and we have a coordinator who is hired on another budget, and she looks after the programs during the summer, and we have someone here who is going to continue on in the off season, and we're open on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays at that time.
Wow. And these both galleries are going concerns. You have programs, you have exhibits. How often do they change up?
They change up once a year, or sometimes once every 2 years. We had the history of sea shat whaling here for 2 years, and it was very popular. With the visitors, and we have the history of Alberni outboards motors here, and it's going to run for another year because it was very popular. So,
and you have exhibits here. Really, is that the mandate of the society?
Well, our aim has been stated, and it's on paper, as preserving, promoting, and presenting maritime heritage of Port Alberni and the west coast of the Vancouver Island.
Wow. Yeah. And really, that's what you're doing, whether it's with children or with people who've spent a lifetime on the sea.
Yep, that's right. We have exhibits here, but we also have monthly programs where we invite speakers in to do a talk on perhaps fishing or history of tugboating or painting or whatever.
And they're all open to the public?
They're always open to the public, yeah, and they get lots of coverage in the media so people can see when and where they are.
Now, what is the best way, just to call you?
To call us here at the gallery. In the off season, we're here on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, and on the summer hours, we're open 7 days a week, of course, and the number would be 723-6164.
Excellent. David, thank you so much for telling us about it. I know the folks out there are going to want to stop by, and if you're closed, they can always look through the fence at the Swan and the Tatouche, two wonderful projects that your society has
absolutely.
Has rebuilt.
Outside exhibits.
Outside exhibits.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you, Nancy.